All right, guys, here we are with the 72 DT2, where I could say it's pretty much 100% done. Got the front turn seals that came in over the weekend, put those on, and they're working. Got the flasher to come in for the turn signals so they actually blink. And now I just wait for the Vermont plate to put on the back here. So this didn't come with a title, and in PA it's a bit of a pain to get an actual title reissued. From what I hear, I've never actually tried it, but it sounded like a lot of steps I didn't want to do. So I'm going to show you in this video where we left off last was, I think it was the last or the first ride. We came back and before I tore the forks apart, and actually it might have been right when I tore the forks apart. I can't remember. I'll have to look at that. But so this is going to go over the putting the forks back together with the fork seals, and a couple other little things, batteries, wires, and signals, and then I'll start it up and you can see all the lights work. So then once the Vermont plate comes in, it'll be on the road legally, and I can go further than just up the road to the trails, and I'll be sure to document that too, hopefully to have that in before it gets too cold to ride. So if you've been following along, most likely you're a subscriber already, and I just want to say thanks for subscribing. I'm nearing that 1,000 mark. And if you're not a subscriber and you like these videos, it would be awesome if you could hit that subscribe button for me, please. It would go a long way. Leave me likes, leave me comments. It helps the channel. And I'm trying to get over that magical 1,000 mark. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. Thanks, guys. All right, let's get into the video. All right, got the forks all disassembled, all cleaned up, ready to go for reassembly. I got the new seals and dust boots, and I got the oil ready to go. So start putting these back together. So I guess I'll start off with the lower fork. I'm going to put the seal in, put a little light coating of grease in here, pop the seal in, and get a socket, kind of push it down evenly on top. Everything's cleaned out inside of here, ready to go. So let me grab a seal and get some grease ready. Okay. Now I'm going to grab a socket that'll fit over top of this. Just lightly tap it in until it seats on the bottom of the that lip right there. And make sure that goes in evenly. Don't want to get it cockeyed in there. Got a little ways to go yet. Almost there. Okay, so that's seated all the way down. I got enough room for the washer that goes over top of this, and then the snap ring that fits in that little groove in there. I'm gonna put those in there next. Here's the washer and the snap ring. Clean that up a little before I put it in there, but that goes on top of the seal, and then the snap ring on top of that just to keep that in place. Make sure that's seated all the way down. Sure looks it. I'm just gonna give the upper fork tube a little wipe down before I put it in. I'm gonna put the plunger end on here. Not sure the proper term of that. I'm gonna call it the plunger. This piece right here. It goes on that end, and then this slides into the lower part of the fork here. Which then I take that Allen bolt, tighten it up here, and that keeps that all together. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. So let me take a quick peek. Yeah, I'm good to go. Just gonna run this down. So to tighten up the lower bolt that goes on the bottom of the lower part of the fork, I am going to attempt to use a wooden shaft that I have to hold that in place while I tighten it down, because what's happening is this goes into the bottom of the fork, and then you go to put the bolt in here, and then all it's doing is spinning the entire assembly in there. It doesn't actually ever tighten down. So think they make a special tool for that. But I'm just gonna try this right here, hold that in place. I might try to cut a little notch on the end of that too, but I'm just gonna try this first and see what happens. So this is gonna go in here first, because it does fit right in that little slot pretty much perfectly. This was just a little bit longer would help me out, but that's all I have to work with right now. Okay, so that's in there holding that. All right. Gonna keep pressure on that. So I got the stick on the bottom, keeping pressure on that plunger. So hopefully this tightens down now. Looks like it's working. If I can get it tight enough. Oh yeah, there we go. Get a little bit of torque on there. Okay. Looks like my stick tool worked. So the spring will go in next. And the spring actually does go in a direction here. Where the springs are, where the coils are closer together, that's going to go down first. Gonna hurt to put a little grease in here too. Make sure this all slides together nicely. And the spacer's gonna go on top of here. The spacer. And I think it's ready for fluid. So I gotta look up the capacity in the manual, and let me grab that, I'll be right back. All right, so I just checked the manual, and it calls for 5.8 ounces of 10W30 motor oil. So I'm gonna fill my measuring cup up to that. All right, I got my 5.8 ounces measured out already. So I'm just gonna pour it into the fork, and we're pretty much done with this one. I'll leave that open to get some of the air bubbles out of there. Then I'll put the cap on. Just like the rear, I'm gonna scuff up these brake shoes here just to get some of the glazing off. These ones are in even better shape than the rears. Gonna put a little grease on the gear here for the speedometer. Make a mess. All right, so some parts arrived in the mail finally for the upper part of the headlight bucket holder. It's the spacer that goes in between the clamp and the holder itself. So I got those, got two of those that came in. The one I had was kind of bent up, so I just got two. And I got the rubber damper for the fuel tank as well. So I'm gonna throw that stuff on, get the front end all together, and put the exhaust back on, and then figure out the lighting and the battery and stuff. All right, so looking at pictures online to see how this stuff all goes together here, it looks like this part's gonna go up top, and then this part is actually gonna be right on top of the reflector that goes on the bottom part. I think it sits like, I think it's gonna be sitting like this. And then that sits right in there like that. So I gotta get the fork in, of course, but I just wanted to get the order of that in before I start trying to put all that together, and having this flop all over the place is not gonna be easy. So let's see if I can make this happen. I think I'll start by just kind of getting the fork worked in there first. Try putting this part up top first. Hopefully it stays in there. Kind of like that. All right, finally got it in. That was not real fun. Just because the alignment, everything had to be perfect, but finally got them. But I found that the easiest way to do it was to put this top ring in first, slide this whole unit into place, and then slide the upper, or I mean the bigger of the two rings, the lower ring here, in. And then once that's all in place, it's kind of already lined up for the fork. This reflector has like a flat piece of metal here, as you can see. It just kind of slides right into there, making this a nice tight fit, but it also makes it a pain to get the tube up in there. So eventually got it. It just took a lot of trial and error alignment, and got that side up, and then this side as well. Just gotta realign the reflectors once that's down. But really I just gotta tighten up the bolts and throw the front wheel on, and I can move on. Can't forget the little wheel spacer that goes in there, and a little cap that goes over top of it. Then the axle can go in. Good to go. All right, next up, doing the exhaust. Basically just bolting it back up. I do have a broken mount here that I didn't realize until one of my viewers, Don, if you're watching, thanks for pointing it out. This part is actually two pieces. The other part is right here. And the way it's sheared off, I couldn't even tell that this was supposed to be two pieces. I thought this was just a mount here just to keep the exhaust from rubbing on stuff or whatever. But this is actually supposed to be attached to here, and it's sheared off the rubber right on there. So this part was on the exhaust. This is supposed to sit on here like this and mount to it. So I'm gonna look for one online. I think I found one. I'm gonna mount this up for now though, and just and replace this when it comes in, because I'm not gonna be riding it anyway. I just want to get it all together. So it won't be a big deal to put that on once the piece comes in. Just take this bolt out, slide it in place, and then bolt it onto the muffler. So thanks again, Don, if you're watching, for pointing that out to me. I would have no idea. It just looked like it was supposed to be that way. All right, well, she's looking pretty good again here. I got it all back together for the most part. I just got a couple things to loose ends to tie up, like the brake pedal and the brake switch. We're gonna do the gonna go over the wiring here in a bit. Just got the rear turn signals mocked up. Looks pretty good with that. I'm waiting for the fronts to come in. I found some reproductions of those too. And front ends all together. Got this part straightened out so it's not flopping around anymore. I think I got these in the right ways here. It looks right. It's tight. So next up, I'm turning my attention to the electrical system. This one wasn't really gutted at all, so it's pretty straightforward, just color coded. So I got the battery box off and the flasher relays attached to the bottom, so I figured it would just be easier to take that out and then hook up the wires here and then bolt this back in. So really it's just you got the brown with the white stripe and then a straight brown with a ground cable. So it's just a matter of hooking those colors up together. Brown, white stripe. It's gonna go here. So that leaves me with the positive and negative hookups for the battery. And then the rear tail light, which is, again, straightforward, color-coded, which is nice. The only thing I got to look up in the manual is the colors for the left and right rear signals. Since these are reproductions, they don't come with the OEM colors on the wires. So like these ones here are just, both of them are just black. So I just have to figure out out of the wiring harness which one is which for the left and right, and then hook the battery up, which I got over here. I gotta get the tube for the overflow. I don't need that hitting any of the paint. Let's see which way this goes here. Like that would be best. I can route that overflow tube down this end here, away from everything. All right, so that leaves me with the, looks like a green wire and I think a brown wire here. It looks like it's brown. So just gonna figure out which one is left, which one is right. I should be able to find that in the wiring diagram. All right, well, I don't have a working tail light, but I'm gonna take it off anyway, just get a look at the bulb just to make sure the bulb's not bad. But when I hit the brake pedal, I don't get any light at all. So I'm sure the running light, it probably has to be, the bike probably has to be on for that to be working. But I'm just gonna take this off and make sure the bulb's not bad. All right, so I did have a rear brake light that I found in my toolbox. So plugged it in, I got the wires hooked up again. Let me turn the key on to night mode, so it should have a running tail light. Let's see what happens here. And we got light, sweet. All right, I'm gonna turn that on to daylight mode, just one click over, and I'm gonna hit the rear brake pedal to activate the switch and make sure that works. All right. Oh, we got a rear brake light. Good deal. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit, put the lens back on. I'm just gonna test this one more time with the lens on and cleaned up. Turn the key to night mode, 2 clicks over. And it's good. I'm gonna hit the brake switch again. All right, looks good. All right, so I just mocked up a another cable. I got a ground ground here just touching the bolt that I got on the back, just holding this in place for now. And I ran the cable from the turn signal to the harness. So let me see if I get any light out of this. I got the key on. I'm going to turn the left turn signal on. All right, so I got light, but not flashing. So I might need a flasher relay. But at least know that that works. So I'm just going to make up a couple ground wires, hook them to the back of the mount here itself, and then run that into the harness. It should be good there. Just buttoning up the electrical system here. I got a couple wires made up. So I made a few ground wires for the rear turn signals. Since the reproductions don't come with the additional ground wire that was missing on here, I just made the ring type on one end here and then the bullet style on the other to go into the harness. So this is going to attach to the bolt that holds down the turn signal, and just going to hook in right into the harness here. So the ones on the turn signals that came with the reproductions, the wires are a little bit too short, so I'm going to extend them a little bit and just use the correct color coding. So I think it's for the left side I need to do the green, and then the right side is the brown. So the other thing I found out too when I went to start this, or at least check for spark once I had the battery hooked up, was this cable or this wire here coming out of the harness for the generator for the stator. There's two black wires on here. One goes up to the harness up under here, which I don't want to pull down because I kind of have them fastened up there, but so that one's okay. This one was kind of left dangling because I didn't have the battery at first when I had the bike running before. So originally when I got this was hooked into the negative terminal on the battery. So I just kind of made note of that and put it back in up here. That's this wire right here. And it is a thicker gauge wire, so it looked legit, like it was supposed to be in the ground. So when I plugged it in and gave it a couple kicks, I noticed that I was getting no spark when it was running before, no problem. So kind of just, I knew it had something to do with the wiring for the battery, so I just unhooked this and then immediately got spark. So after doing a little digging online, the manual doesn't mention it, but apparently there's an extra black wire coming out of the harness for the stator that's used for testing purposes, and this is supposed to not be plugged in. I think they said it should just be grounded out somewhere. But whenever I try to ground it out, I lose spark regardless of where it's plugged in, whether it's the battery or the frame ground out. So I'm just gonna cap this off and just kind of tuck it away because it'll run without that plugged in. Obviously I need to plug in the positive side, but I did make a wire that goes from the battery, the ground on the battery, and I'm just gonna make it go right to this screw here and ground that onto the frame. So just a little tidbit I found while hooking everything back up, something that the manual doesn't mention. So here's the wire made up for the battery ground. This is going to go here, and then this is going to go into the battery. Just make sure that works. Still got a horn, battery's working good. Next thing would be to just confirm it works by kicking it over a couple times, making sure I still got spark and it's not grounding out anywhere else. And then I can button up the rest of it. Just gonna make sure she got spark still. Give it a couple kicks with the key in the on position. Yep, we're good to go. All right, got my homemade ground wire and homemade mounts made up for the rear end here on the turn signals, and I got the wires ready to go into the harness. Same thing for the left side. And like I said, I tried to color code the wire going in just so it's easier to keep track. I got the brown for the left and the green for the right side. So I'm gonna plug these in, test them out. Got my key in the on position here. I'm gonna try the left turn signal first. Okay, we got light and it's not flashing. I'm actually manually flashing it up top. So the flasher relay, I'm sure, is gonna need replaced, but at least I know it's getting juice. And the right one also works. All right, good deal. Next up, I'm gonna get the headlight bulb out of here, get a look at the wiring harness that's behind there in the bucket. I'm gonna have to get to it at some point here soon once the turn signals come in anyway, so I'm gonna get that out and see if I can figure out why this is not lighting up. Hopefully it's just something's unplugged, but it's most likely the bulb is burned out. So I'm gonna pop this open and get a better look at that now. Well, this was unplugged from the harness for some reason, so hopefully all it was is just that. I don't need to get a new headlight. I'm pretty sure that just goes into here, and then there's let's see, it's a ground. I'll have to clean these up so I can see the colors a little bit better, but yeah, I'm sure a couple of these open ones are going to be for the front signals once I get those. And then this here for the headlight. Sweet. All right, I'm going to get these cleaned up. I can see what I'm working with here. So while I have this open, I'm going to check the bulbs on the gauges to make sure they're okay. I already kind of started taking this apart, so let's take it the rest of the way off, and looks like that bulb has seen better days. Let's see, it looks like it's a little burned out or something happened to that. But I got replacements. I'm going to throw these in here, and I'm going to check this one too while I'm at it. The tachometer side's actually got two bulbs, one for the turn signal indicator and the other one for the backlight. So I know the turn signal one works just because I had the signals hooked up, and when I hit the switch, that does come on. So I'm gonna leave that one alone. But I'm gonna check the backlight bulb while I'm at it. That one too looks bad. All right, I'm gonna put the headlight back in and just kind of double check the connections here, make sure everything's color coded right, and fire the bike up, see if I got a headlight. Side of the bucket here. All right, I'm gonna fire it up, see what kind of lights we got. All right, so I turned the lights off to get full effect. I'm gonna flip the key to night mode. what happens here. All right, we got gauge lights, we got a headlight. That's low beams, high beams. Low beams. Let's see, we got brake light, and left turn signal. And the turn signal indicators on there, that's good. We are good to go. Just gotta wait for them front signals to come in. All right, so I didn't have the front signals on in that last video, so I just hooked them up, and just gonna demonstrate them here for you. Here's the left signal. I'm sorry, the right signal. And the left signal. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Next time you see this bike, it will probably have a Vermont plate on it and be on the road legally. So stay tuned for that. Say it again, if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. If you like what you're seeing, I'm trying to get to that 1,000 marker there. So I'm almost there. Just need a couple more. Thanks, guys. Until next time.